and had no problem in admitting publicly that while he was the governor of the central bank, he was writing the UNC manifesto. When I went to Washington, a couple of acquaintances of mine asked me if it was true. I said, well, if the man says so, the man wouldn't lie on himself. I hope not. I have to believe him. And they said, you know, we're concerned because central banks are supposed to operate and give the government independent advice, manage our affairs independently of government's political policies. But he had no problem with that. I'll tell you worse than that. When he left the central bank, by the time he left the central bank and he came out into the political arena, it was already established that the UNC individuals were on their way to the courthouse for corruption. That was already widespread. It was known that the UNC was a corrupt government. And what did he do? Being regarded as a man of integrity, he tried to use that integrity to cloak Basdio Pandey and his 40 thieves with integrity. So he joined the UNC after all that corruption was exposed. And he went and he became the member of parliament for St. Augustine. So first he was NAR in Chaguanas, he is UNC in St. Augustine, and in this election he is COP and the whole alphabet in Tunapuna. Like Miss Howard Chat, jumping from constituency to constituency, from party to party, looking for what I don't know. But you know the tune? There's a tune called Traveling Man, Traveling Man. That is he. And he wants to cast aspersion on my integrity. You understand? And while he is doing that, he is holding out Kamla Prasad Bisesa as the new and local Indira Gandhi, prepared on Madison Avenue, accent and all, and she will run your affairs. And the fact that on the 24th of May, that very significant date, on the 24th of May 2001, Kamla Prasad Bisesa was holding what post? Attorney General. Attorney General of our country. And when I, as a PNM member of parliament in the opposition, when I took issue with Ramesh Miraj, who was the Attorney General, Ramesh Miraj was the Attorney General, and when I took issue with Ramesh Miraj about turning a blind eye to corruption at Piako Airport, a certain Rupert Griffith was in the chair, and he asked me to withdraw my position. And I refused to withdraw because I was talking to God in heaven truth. And when I refused to withdraw, Rupert Griffith asked the Ramesh Miraj to move a motion to expel me from the parliament indefinitely. May 24th, 2001. And when the motion was put to the floor, all the government members voted to expel me, the member of parliament for Diego Martin West, from the parliament indefinitely. And I had to leave the parliament. And for 2 months, you, the people of Diego Martin West, had no voice in the parliament because Kamla and Basdeo and Bash, they voted your MP out of the parliament. And I was right then. They voted me out of the parliament and the judge voted them into the jail. When Kamla comes down here as the new Messiah, in her new raiments, with her new accent and her new friends, ask her how she voted on the 24th of May 2001. Ask her what role she played in denying Diego Martin West a voice in the parliament in defense of corruption. Ask her that, because you know, they feel we forget them. They feel you have no representative, but I represent you. And if you forget, I remember to remind you. And then, you know, we come into government. And what do we meet? A similar situation. But before I get there, Mr. Dukeran's integrity doesn't allow him to question Kamla on that. It doesn't allow him to question her on the fact that when Ramesh Miraj brought Mr. Lindquist here to investigate UNC corruption, Basdio Pandey felt threatened because Coco was writing a tune, Pandey, the jail is waiting. From the time Coco started to write that tune, Basdio Pandey removed Ramesh and made Kamla the Attorney General. And you know what she did? She told Mr. Lindquist, the Enquirer, don't call me, I will call you. Don't come back here till I call you. And Mr. Lindquist could not pursue the corruption at Piako Airport. It took your vote to put this PLM ship into port in the government. And Glenda Moran became a PLM Attorney General, and she brought Mr. Lindquist back to continue the Piako inquiry. An inquiry that showed that that project was a major scandal, and people are now in jail, just come out, some just going in, some still inside. And we got back some significant sums of money. Kamla's way of dealing with that was to stop the inquiry. It is fashionable now to talk about the off-inquiry and the off-inquiry. Yes, that is a serious scandal. And I make no apologies to anybody on any platform, PLM or otherwise. That is what should never go on in this country. So when I'm a PLM minister and I see Unica, I have no difficulty, as I had no difficulty with Piako Airport. And Kamla now on the platform, Prime Minister already, giving me advice. And she wants to know, she wants to see me on a PLM platform. Come Kamla, come and look at me. She's daring me to go on a PLM platform. I am the PLM. I am of the PLM, for the PLM. And we don't all speak with one voice when wrongdoing is about. And to the extent that there are those in the organization who want to come down on the wrong side of the track, that is for them and the train driver. I know which side of the track the door is. So, she wants to see me on a platform because that is an impossibility. So I have taken issue with my party and my government on specific issues of administration. And she thinks that means the end of the PNM. Well, if that is to be the end of the PNM, how come Kamla, who say and do Robinson all manner of evil, how come today she in the man house eating the man food? It was Kamla providing legal advice and telling Basdio Pandey in the 1818 that Robinson have to make you Prime Minister. And of course, when Robinson says, in response to UNC corruption, and Robinson says, rain does fall. And after rain, you get streams flowing to rivers, and rivers flowing to seas. And when Robinson said that, and put the government in office, she had all manner of evil to say about Robinson.